Alright, so my Inside Out 2 review. This movie I thought was really well done as well. It's definitely up to par with the first film, while at the same time, it had a little bit more predictability to it compared to the first one. And also, I would wager that, the main emotions are the ones that you want to follow more than the new ones. So I will say that. And, there's quite a few things about this film that didn't quite grab me like the first one did, in a sense that we're focusing on hockey, right? Riley, and, being a hockey fan, I would say that, she was a hockey fan in the first film too, so, but that wasn't quite as prevalent in the first film, because that one felt more like a family film, whereas this one is focusing on Riley as a preteen going to this camp, and she's trying to impress this other girl, and all these new emotions start to prop up, right? And all the ones that we're familiar with from the first film get sort of shelved in a way. And I think that's a really fascinating tale to address in regards to how, when you're at that age, when you're in your preteen years, 11, 12, 13, you start to develop new emotions, right? Anxiety, embarrassment, and like desire, like being in awe, for example. And I really like that. Like, that's an aspect of this movie that I thought was so well done. Like, the crew behind the making of these movies really know what they're doing in regards to adapting different levels of psychosis inside someone's mind and fictionalizing it in a way that just really pays off. Like, and I thought, the new emotions, I thought they were a really fun batch of new characters as well. Maya Hawke, she voices anxiety, and I know that in a way that the anxiety character is like the main, I guess, villain in a way, but I wouldn't say that she's a villain really, because it's an emotion, it's something that Riley is feeling, right? And the anxiety character herself, she's not mean, she's just cautious, she's worried about everything. And that's something that I thought was really fascinating with this character, and it just really played into Riley and what she was struggling with as she was trying to play hockey and making new friends and adjusting to her preteen years. And I thought that was just so fascinating. But yeah, like I was saying, I do think that I like the first film more than this one. And also, I knew where the story was going. I knew the theme that would eventually be all of these new emotions Riley's having. They need to balance out. They need to eventually work themselves out and, coexist with each other. I knew that was going to be the theme by the end of it. And that, I thought, but the journey was still very fun. I liked how in this film, Joy goes on this adventure with the other emotions, with anger, with fear, and I think that journey that she goes on with them sort of parallels the journey that she goes on with sadness in the first film, and they go on a similar sort of beat in that adventure, which I thought was fascinating. And I think, there's another character in this film within that journey that also plays with the animation styles a little bit, plays with different levels of animation, and that's Played for Laughs. I was worried about this one character though, because like straight up 2D cartoon animation, and that character, like, he was funny at first, and then I was worried that he would be a another character like Bing Bong that would go on this journey with them. I was worried he was going to be in the whole rest of the film. Thankfully he wasn't, but there was this other thing that this character had that did make it to the end of the film, that was also had a mind of its own, and it was like this bag satchel thing. At least I was okay with that thing coming back by the end, but the actual character itself I didn't want to be in the rest of the film. But yeah, and another thing about this movie, when Riley really does start to feel anxiety as she accidentally hurt someone while playing hockey, I felt for Riley in that moment, when she really started feeling anxiety and everything started to crash in her head and how things were starting to fall apart inside her head, like, and we are seeing that being fictionalized. But in that moment when Riley is having anxiety, I really felt for her, because seeing that, it reminded me of the kind of anxiety that I have. And that's another thing about this movie and the first one that really just affected me in a way that I wasn't expecting. And as a result of that, even with the flaws that I do have with this one compared to the first one, it still hit me in that moment. Oh my goodness. And overall, though, this was another really great film. I'd probably say that this one is an A- grade for me, but still really well done, though. And these Inside Out movies are some of my favorite Pixar movies that we've had in recent years. And yeah, both of these films are incredible, even though I do have a few more flaws with Inside Out 2. But that should do it for my review for both of these films. And, you know, in relation to these movies and how they tackle emotions, you know, as someone who's very sensitive, as someone who deals with a lot emotionally, that's part of the reason why these movies just hooked me so much and why I love these movies. Wow. And I want to talk about this because even though it's been a while, I know that I hope people don't think of me as being hypocritical. I don't want to come off that way, but okay. I'm not sure what people think of me in regards to constantly talking about Honest Sophia Robb, but I don't know if people think of me as being hypocritical. I hope not. But there's this thing, before the Rebel Ridge movie came out, I did a YouTube post talking about the Rebel Ridge movie, and I got this comment from someone saying that they worked on the film, and I voiced that person's name up, Garen Sparks, and apparently he did co-direct Rebel Ridge with Jeremy Saunier, and I was like, holy crap, what? Someone that commented on something on my YouTube channel worked on the Rebel Ridge movie. I mean, that was like, wow. I mean, I got a similar comment like that a while back for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes as well. But wow, that was okay. Because that's another thing. Like these weird, ironic things keep happening even now in relation to Honest Sophia Robb, because I'm trying to move on. I'm trying, but every time something like that happens, it's like, it's a little, I don't know what to say about that. It's just, you know, it's kind of getting to a point to where it's too much for me. And that's why I deal with a lot emotionally still to this day. And in relation to my reviews of these movies, you know, I am still struggling. Like, I will admit that. Like, I'm still struggling. You know, I haven't fully recovered from what happened over a month ago. I haven't fully recovered. What that experience was like, seeing these recordings of Anna-Sophia Robb like addressing me and saying she loves me, like how can I recover from that, you know? So it's a lot that I'm still dealing with, and I'm still struggling with that. So I just wanted to tackle that, address that a little bit there, because I wanted to talk about it eventually. I just wasn't sure where to place this particular subject, because I don't want to talk about the Rebel Ridge movie anymore, and I wasn't sure where this subject could go. So I figured that since I'm talking about movies that address emotions, I figured maybe this would be a decent enough place to put this whole thing. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. I am still dealing with a lot, but I am joyful, you know, I am happy, but at the same time I'm also feeling sad a lot and lonely, which is why I felt so much for the Riley character in these Inside Out movies. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about here, and I hope everyone's doing well, you know. So yeah, take care, have a great weekend, whatever the day is for all of you. So I'm you know, I'm still going strong. So all right, that should do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care and have a great day. Peace.